Hi everyone, and welcome to the Red Brick House. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Valentine Day today. Happy Valentine's Day. And I am going to be working on this beautiful canvas called Roses from Make Market. I purchased it at Michael's. I did do an unboxing on this diamond painting kit. I am calling it my Valentine kit because with all the roses, it just felt very romantic, very February, and so I chose this to be my kit for this month that I wanted to for sure complete. Now, if that doesn't happen, it's okay, but I would like to complete this kit in the month of February. I think it's absolutely stunning. You can see down here the part I already completed, and I just love the color variations on this rose right here that's kind of hiding behind this one. It's going to be really fun to get that one done. But I love how it's turning out because I've been doing quite a few squares lately. This canvas is a round. It is just so pleasant, should I say, to work on. As if you've been following my videos, you know I have a Josephine wall kit going on that is very tedious, very hard to do, and I needed this canvas. I needed a round that didn't cause me so much stress. It has plenty of confetti, which I do love, but it's not overwhelming, and I'm enjoying doing it so much. So I wanted to share it with you today, and I thought that since it's Valentine's Day that maybe I will tell you the story of how my husband and I met. So I think it's going to be a fun video. Feel free to craft along with me. It doesn't have to be diamond painting. It can be whatever whatever. It doesn't even have to be crafting, really. It can be anything. If you're, cleaning your house, or, you just need somebody to keep you company today. I hope this video, will serve you well for that. And so anyway, I'm going to get set up. I'm going to get my drills out and everything. So I'll do that off camera so it's not so loud and noisy, and get everything situated, and we'll sit down and I'm going to work on this square right here. I always like to kind of show the overall picture of what I'm working on in these WIP and chats. Now, WIP stands for work in progress, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on this right here. But I wanted to give you an overview of the entire canvas so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm working on before I zoom in to work on this area. So, like I said, I'm going to get set up and we'll get to it. Okay, I have my Valentine pin here. I have my drills set up, and I wanted to show you something that I've been doing just to, kind of show how I diamond paint, or what I've started doing recently is, you know how it comes with this film here on your canvas to, protect your glue and everything. Well, ever since I did a Diamond Art Club kit where it had the perforated film, I have been kind of sort of doing that myself. So I don't use washi tape to section off my, the places I want to work. But what I do is I snip this edge right here, and then I just like gently pull it up so that it just kind of tears across here like that. And then I can lay my film flat instead of having the whole corner exposed, kind of like what you do when you just pull the whole film back. I just do it like that, and then I use my tray to hold it down. I don't really have cover minders or use cover minders. This works really well for me, and so that's kind of what I do. So I have my tray up there with my wax, and I use a, a toothpick. I use a toothpick to take the wax out of my multi-placer. And so this wax in here should be good. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope that it works fine. Okay, so I'm starting out with the T symbol here. These drills are beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. I did my nails today, and you know what happened? I did my nails this morning because I knew I was going to do this video and I wanted pretty nails for Valentine's Day. And then I did dishes. Now, I did dishes like 2 hours after I painted my nails. And I messed up that one, and I messed up my thumb over here. Ugh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So, before I tell you the story of how my husband and I met, I wanted to talk a little bit about Michaels and their diamond kits. So, when I unboxed this kit, I talked about how I liked the Maker's Mark kits from Michaels. I think they're a very good budget-friendly kit. You get a really nice kit for the money that you pay. And I did not know that if you go on to Michaels' website, I didn't realize this, but they sell other kits too. They sell kits from other companies. And I did not even know that. And so, check them out. Now, I didn't think that the prices were that wonderful on these other companies' kits. I still think Make Market makes a really good product for the price that you pay. I believe that these drills I'm using today with this kit, I think they're acrylic drills. They have kind of a pearl look to them. I'll bring them in a little closer so maybe you can see, but they have kind of a pearl appearance to them, which I have seen in some other kits I've gotten from like Diamond Dot and stuff, and they're not like a fairy dust or anything like that, so it's not that, but I don't know how to explain it other than they just have a different kind of shine to them, and it kind of leads me to believe that they're probably acrylic. Now, I haven't noticed like any like dimpling on the back or anything like that you kind of see with acrylic drills. So I'm fine with them. I'm fine with acrylic drills if they're good quality drills. But some acrylic drills can be absolutely terrible. I have gotten kits from Hobby Lobby that some were good and some were not good. And they're the same brand. Now, Hobby Lobby, I'm not completely certain on this, but what it appears to me is that Hobby Lobby is phasing out other companies' diamond paintings so that they can make their own. And I'm fine with that. But if you're gonna do that as a company and you want to take over your own market and sell your own stuff, that's fine, but you kind of got to do a good job at it. And I know this is going to sound terrible, and I don't mean to be negative. I love Hobby Lobby, but I have found that their diamond kits are hit or miss. Sometimes they have cute images, but they're not always that good. And I'm going to give them another chance because I know that they've kind of just switched over. I think their brand that they have is called Studio Delight. I think that's correct. I have done 2 different kits of those a while back, way before I started filming videos of diamond painting. And one was great. It was one of a blue herring, and it was beautiful, and it turned out great, and it looked great. I didn't have any complaints with that one, but then I did a different one that was like a fox with fireflies, and it was terrible. The drills were terrible, and I've said it before. The drill quality kind of makes or breaks my experience. I can deal with a not so nice canvas, and I can kind of work around glue sometimes as long as I can, get them to work and get them to stick. But if the drills are bad and I constantly have to pick out the drills that I don't want to use, oh, that's so frustrating to me. And, this is a hobby that's supposed to be relaxing and not frustrating. So I'm going to give Hobby Lobby one more chance. Last time I went, I hadn't been in a while to look for diamond painting stuff. But the last time I went, they had, and I thought this was really interesting, they used to sell Diamond Art Club stuff, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. I kind of just was not seeing much diamond painting stuff at all, but I don't know if it's just my store, but they had, this last time I went in, they had Diamond Art Club toolkits, like individual toolkits. Now you can buy those on Diamond Art Club's website, but they weren't like the old toolkits either. It's not like they just found old stock and decided to put it on the shelf. You know, it was the new Diamond Art Club kit. So I thought that was interesting. They also had a sparkly like putty for, you know, your pens and stuff. And it was pink and sparkly, had glitter in it, and it was scented rose. I thought that was fun. I didn't buy it, but I think I'm going to go back and hopefully they still have it. But I was kind of surprised to see that, and I was kind of actually happy to see that, because if they, you know, if they start restocking Diamond Art Club stuff, that would be fantastic. But, you know, I don't know what's going on with Hobby Lobby, but anyway, back to Michael's. I was really surprised to see that they had, like, they sold diamond paintings from other companies online. Now, you cannot get that in store. If you go into the store in Michael's, all you can find is the Make Market kits, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. But check it out. I mean, maybe you might be interested in that. I was just putting it out there because I didn't know. And so other people might not know either. So I just wanted to mention that. Uh-oh. That didn't work. Get in there. I love painting flowers. I haven't done a lot of flower kits. Taking those out. I have done a succulent kit that was really pretty. I think it was by Diamond Dot or it was by Leisure Arts, which I don't think is around anymore. But I could be wrong, so I don't know. But I don't see their products anywhere anymore, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful canvas. It's hanging in my bathroom, in my guest bathroom, that has a lot of other succulent type decorations in it. So anyway, I'm gonna refill my wax and I'm gonna tell you the story of how I met my husband. It's not a glamorous story. It's not, you know, it's not like movie worthy or anything like that. And I don't even know if it's that interesting, but I'm going to tell it anyway, because I would like for you to get to know me on this channel. And so I'm going to share with you how I met my husband. So I kind of have to set the story up first. At that time in my life, I was teaching pre-K, and I was working where I worked. I had some fellow friends, you know, that I hung out with outside of work. And at this time, my mom was getting older and my dad had passed away already. And they lived out in the country, and me and my sister both kind of like didn't like the idea of her living out in the country by herself, and she lived like 2 hours away from us. Like, it's not like she was in town. Now, my brother lived in town. Oh no, I can't have that. Those are stuck together. My brother lived in town, so, you know, he could check on her, but they weren't on the best of terms, and, you know, I didn't want him. I didn't want to be like, hey, can you go check on mom? You know, I didn't want to like make it a burden for him to have to go like make sure she was okay and everything if I didn't hear from her. But I got nervous, like if I didn't hear from her in a few days, I would call her, and then, you know, I was just worried. I was worried about her falling down or something and just being out there by herself. And so she had come, long story short, or long story long, she had come to live with me. And so she was living here. She still owned the property there where her and my dad lived. But she came and she lived with me. We had a 2-bedroom apartment. And so, yeah, that's kind of how life was going at the time. And so I worked at a a school where we, I was teaching pre-kindergarten, and it was a really fun time of my life. No regrets. I love working with children, and it prompted me to teach my own child later on, to homeschool her, and to have the confidence to do it too. So, but anyway, I had a coworker who I was really good friends with, and she had recently gotten divorced, and so we were both single basically. And so we would, we would go places together, and we would, hang out and stuff. And one day she told me, she was like, hey, my nephew just got a divorce, and, I think you two would get along. I think that you might like him, and I think that you would be good for him, and I think he would be good for you, And so I was like, but she was trying not to act like it was a setup, And so I was like, she was like, do you want to come over tonight and have dinner? She was trying to make it like really nonchalant. She was like, my nephew's going to be there. But no pressure, but I knew what she was doing. She was trying to hide it, but I knew. And so I was like, okay. And so I came over there, and I was like, I'm not getting dressed up. I didn't even have makeup on. I had come home from work. I had taken a shower and put on some like comfortable clothes, and I went, I was like, no, I'm not getting dolled up, And so I go over there, and I meet him. My husband's name is Russell, but back then, he was her nephew. And now this friend of mine, she's older than me, and her sister, which is my now mother-in-law, is older than her. And so I was about 30. I was around 30. I don't know exactly how old I was. I would have to do the math, and I don't do math, y'all. If I don't have to, I don't do math. And so, I'm at my end there. It's hard to see on camera. I'm sitting way over here when I'm trying to film this so that you guys can see everything, but I'm stretching over. You can't tell, but I am like stretching over, so it's hard for me to see like over here on this side. Anyway, so I go over there, and I think we ordered pizza or something, and we talked. We had a good time, and I liked him, but I didn't like. I thought he was and he is a little bit arrogant. Because he is. I love you, babe, but you are arrogant. I know he's probably gonna watch this video. He might not, though. I don't know. Anyway, and I was just like, I don't know, I was like, yeah. And I was trying to be like very like casual about it, but I did like him, and he liked me, and we hit it off, and that's kind of the end of the story. But I will tell you what happened. So we kind of hung out, and we kind of got to know each other over the next few weeks. Now when we met, this was like right before Thanksgiving, and then we dated kind of through December. And he had a daughter from his previous marriage, and he wasn't even, dare I say, he was not even like officially, like legally divorced at this time. His divorce was final in January, and we met in November. So we were just hanging out and just being friends, and we weren't, both of us were not necessarily trying to jump into a, hardcore relationship. And so anyway, but he had a daughter. At that time, his daughter was 2, and then she turned 3 the next March. So not long after we met, she turned 3. And so, but it was kind of funny because for about 2 weeks, we just kind of talked and stuff. And then one day, he was staying with his aunt. Okay, so I didn't even talk about that. The reason he was down here to begin with, because he lived in Houston with his ex-wife, and he had come down here because he had an appointment with our local like VA hospital. He is a medically retired from the Marine Corps. And so that's why he was down here. So he was staying with his aunt, my friend. And so we were talking and hanging out and stuff. And then one day he was like, hey, do you want to come over and have dinner tonight? And I was like, okay, sure. And, but he was cooking. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to cook dinner. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, and so I get over there and he had prepared like this whole meal. And it was funny because it was like kind of like secretive. Like I could not go in the kitchen or anything. My friend, she was like, you have to stay out here. It's a surprise. I was like, okay. But he knew at that time I was like trying to lose weight and trying to eat healthy and everything. So he was trying to prepare a meal that, you know, was, you know, good for me to eat or whatever, or that I would like. But we really didn't know each other that well. So he didn't really know like what I liked anyway. But he made like a spinach artichoke dip that was to die for. And that was like this, you know, the hors d'oeuvre or whatever, the pre-meal. And he made it all from scratch. It was like, not like he just like put it in the oven. I mean, put it, you know, like it was a frozen thing or something. No, he like made this from scratch. And it was so delicious. And so, and then he made like a chicken, like a stuffed chicken, like kind of like a cordon bleu, but it didn't have like, I don't know. It was sort of like that, but it wasn't. Anyway, it was like a stuffed chicken breast. And it was also delicious. And then he made, for dessert, he made a bananas Foster. And I think he was really trying to impress me, which he didn't have to do all that, but to impress me. But he did, and it was really sweet. And so after that, and after we all had dinner and everything, and he and I were alone, he asked me, like, officially, like, you know, he was like, I would really like to date you, and, you know, basically, like, would you like to be my girlfriend? You know, kind of thing. It was so sweet. And so, we started dating after that. I was like, of course, how could I turn that down, you know? I was like, yes, of course. And so, we started dating, and, to make a long story short, well, it doesn't have to be short, I guess, but my mom at that time, a few months after we started dating, she kind of decided that she would move back. She's like, I don't like living in the city, and, you know, I like, you know, where they lived out in the country, but it was in the country of a small town that she had lived forever, and she was getting older, and she was like, I can drive, you know, I know where I'm going. I don't, you know, because sometimes around here she would get lost because she wasn't familiar with everything. And back home, of course, she knew where everything was, and, you know, and she just felt more comfortable there. So I was like, okay. So she moved back. And then quickly, like the next spring, my husband and I, well, you know, he wasn't my husband then, but then we moved in together. And we moved into an apartment together, a different apartment than my mom and I had lived in. Same apartment complex, but we just moved into our own place and everything. And then shortly after that, we decided, you know, that we wanted to buy a house. And so, you know, we bought a house after a year or so, you know, of dating. And then after a year or so, after we bought our house, we had my daughter. Or our daughter. And that is that. You know, we've been here in this house ever since. And now our daughter, fast forward, our daughter is 13. So me and him have been together for 16 years. So it's just, man, time just goes by so fast. I can't even believe that we've been together that long and that my daughter's 13. It's like, where does the time go? You know, it really is true what they say about the days are long, but the years are short. And it's so true, because you turn around and, you know, life is just going all the time. But these days for Valentine's, we don't do a whole lot of celebrating. You know, we love each other every day, so, you know, that's what's important. We typically will get like what do you call it? Like a heart, one of those chocolate hearts. We'll get like one of those and share it because he likes the chocolate too. We don't like get each other individual gifts or anything anymore. We did kind of when we were younger, but we don't do that anymore. After you've been together this long, you know, it's just like, oh, let's get this. And he'll eat the caramels out of the chocolate box because I don't like the caramels because they always seem to like hurt my teeth. And he will, you know, he'll eat those and I'll eat the truffle ones because he doesn't like those. So it's like, it's perfect. And then we'll get our daughter her own thing, you know, for Valentine's. So it's so funny. So what plans do you have for Valentine's? Do you have plans? Are you planning to be alone on Valentine's? Because it's okay to be alone on Valentine's. I'm here to tell you. I spent many a Valentine alone. And, you know, having alone time is precious. I did not appreciate the alone time I had when I was single, living by myself. I didn't appreciate it. I always wanted to be like, you know, with my friends or dating or whatever, but nowadays I'm just like, please give me the solitude. I will take it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little story about me and get to know me a little bit better. This particular rose is very light in color, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's beautiful like cream color. Whoop. So it's been a fun ride with my husband. We've been through a lot of things. I'm sure we have many more things to go through. We were at the veterinarian office and the vet was asked, you know, I think it was like New Year's, and we were talking about it being our anniversary, and my veterinarian, he said that his anniversary was like the previous month in December, and I think they were together like 60 something years. I cannot remember what he said, but we were like, wow. And you know, we were like, we thought 16 years was a long time, you know, and he was like, y'all still have a lot more tribulations to go through. Like, you're just beginning. And I'm like, oh goodness. Okay. I thought we had been through a lot. Oh goodness. I will say losing our pets has probably been one of the hardest things. I mean, we've gone through deaths in our families and things like that, and we've had our own, you know, squabbles and everything, you know, over the past years. But I think, you know, going through the death of our pets, because our pets were kind of like, I don't know, they were just part of our little family. You know what I mean? Like, when I met him, I had a cat. His name was Saturn, and he was about like 5 or 6 years old, maybe, when I met him. And he, you know, of course, my cat was living with me in my apartment. And I will never forget one day when we first started dating and Russell had come over and we were like watching a movie or something. And my cat Saturn, he would get on he was on the table and where my husband's keys were. And he was just like, shoop, those keys are, he would look right at you too. He would look at you and I'm like, don't do it. And he would just swipe them right off the table. Like, you take your keys and get out of here. This is my mama and you are a stranger here in my house. You know? Oh, it was funny. It was so funny. But after we moved into our house, my husband, he was like, you know, your cat needs a friend. Like, we need another cat. And it really kind of surprised me that he wanted a cat. Because he had said before that he was not like used to cats and hadn't really been with a whole lot of cats. He had, you know, dogs and stuff, but it was kind of funny how he really kind of became a cat person. But, well, we're not really cat people or dog people. I mean, we like all animals, so I can't really say that, oh, we're cat people just because we have cats, you know. But it was funny. He was like, your cat needs a friend. And I was like, okay. And so after we bought our house, we got another cat from the animal shelter. And the animal shelter had named him Zeus. And when we went in to like look at the animal shelter, it was so cute because I walked up and he was like sleeping. This cat was sleeping. And I was trying to read the tag on the door of the cage. It had like their name and everything on it. And I was like, does that say Zeus? And the cat literally turned around, looked at me and was like, meow. Like, yeah, that's me. That's my name. And he was so adorable. Oh my gosh. He was young. He wasn't like a full-grown cat, but he wasn't a baby kitten either. He was kind of in between. And he was just so funny and so just like character. You know, you could just look at that cat and tell the way he was acting that he had character. You know, he had a personality, and he did. I know why they named him Zeus now, but it was funny. So we asked the animal shelter about him, and we were like, we're really interested in this one, and they were like, oh, he just came in, so we have to wait 48 hours or something, I think, before they like adopt him out in case somebody lost him, you know, and was gonna come and get him. So they give like 48, I think it's 48 hours. And so it might be more than that. It might be like 3 days or something. I don't remember. But we couldn't take him home that day. And so we had to wait. And I think it was because I think we went and saw him on a Friday, and then it was like a Monday or something. I know it was after a weekend, so I think it was like a Monday that we could go get him. That's when like he would be available for adoption. And I had told my husband, I was like, go, because I was working, you know, I had to work on Monday. And my husband's, like I said, he's medically retired from the Marine Corps, so he wasn't working. And so he was like, I'll go up there. I was like, you better be up there when they open in case somebody else wants this cat too, because I really want this cat. I didn't want another cat until like my husband convinced me I needed another cat. And then I was like, okay. So we brought him home, and whoo, it was a hard time for my cat Saturn, because up until then it was just me and my cat, you know. It was nobody else. And then there was, you know, it was a lot of change for my old cat. He went through a lot of changes in our home, from not having kids to having kids, from not having, you know, me having a partner to, you know, living with somebody else. And it was a lot. Now that I think about it, it was a lot of changes at that, you know, happening for a cat to deal with at that time. Probably wasn't a great idea to move into a new environment and then a month later get a cat. You know, that's a big deal for other cats. But at first they did not get along. But they did. They ended up getting along eventually. But anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to talk about today. I'm just enjoying this kit so much. I could just sit here and diamond paint and not talk and just keep working, because of course that's what I'm going to do when this video is over anyway. I'm going to keep working on this. I do like to kind of finish like one symbol before I close my video out, but I don't think that's going to happen. Tell me if you do that. So like if you know, maybe you don't have time to finish this whole square or rectangle when you're, you know, when you first start diamond painting it, but do you go back? Do you like stop? I don't know. Do you stop in the middle of your symbol? Or do you like finish a symbol and then, you know, close it up for the day or whatever? I like to finish my section. But I will, like if I have to quit, like if it's like dinner time or my daughter needs me or my husband needs me or something, I will quit working. But I do like to finish my symbol before I stop. I don't know if that's like, I don't know, just my weird personality, or or what, but oftentimes I am. I'm like, wait, I got like 2 more. And my husband's like, come on. I'm like, hold on. I'm almost done. I got 2 more S's, you know. I think people who don't diamond paint don't understand. They don't understand the stress of stopping before your symbol's done. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Tell me I'm not alone. If that bugs you, I want to know. If you're the same way I am, and that kind of bugs you too, to stop before you're done with your one symbol you're working on. I want to know. So anyway, I think that's about all of them. I probably missed some somewhere. I always do. But I don't see any more S's through here. It's so fun when you're diamond painting and you're really focused on the symbol, and then after you're kind of done and you kind of step back and then you can see like what you've done. It's so cool. It's so neat. I love it. Anyway, well, I'm gonna sign off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video entertained you today, and I would love to hear if you were crafting along with me. Let me know in the comments if you were diamond painting or, you know, crocheting or knitting or cleaning the house, whatever it is. I'd love to hear about it. And I just thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out some of my I have some unboxing videos and some review, like post-review videos, and some other whip and chats. And so I do a little bit of all of that on this channel. And if you are interested, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part of my community here. And I just think that we'll have a really fun time on this channel, diamond painting, talking everything there is about diamond painting. Now, in the past, I've done other crafting videos, but right now, this is kind of my jam. And so it doesn't mean I don't do other crafts in the background, but I am just really enjoying doing this craft. And so anyway, I will see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.